some of it already. See, these come out real nice. Notice I have some hardware for these.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll show you how it's going to go, how they hook up. And here's the hardware. Okay, those are regular flat washers.
Okay.
And the magnet out there. Okay. Okay, so we got our lock washers, 4 lock washers, and 4 regular washers. And these are regular flat washers. Okay? And the way we got to put it together, Vanessa, and you can get them together for me,
Okay.
is the first one that goes on there is going to be a lock washer. Okay? And the second one that goes on there is the washer. Pick the smooth side of the washer to face up. It's clean, it's smooth. The rough, jagged edge on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay? And then you'll do each one like that. And then that way we can put our landing gear on. And then we'll probably sand that down a little bit and we'll see how this fits. And we'll go from there. Oh, that's going to fit nice. You see that? So these little ridges left behind by the threads actually just sit right in there. That baby just sits right in there. So that's going to work out well. And I might make a piece of metal or aluminum that will be a complete piece over this so that this will go on and then the screws. That'll really give them some rigidity there. Not too rigid, but enough to where a lot of this energy gets soaked up. Yep, that will work out well. Yeah, well, let's look at the wheel pants. These are really nice wheel pants. Vanessa, look, I love the blue on there. Okay, that's the nose gear wheel pants because it's got the hole in it. And when we put the nose gear on, strut, we need that hole for that. So we're just going to use the 2 main landing gears right now. And I already marked them because we're going to cut slots in these. And then we're going to use this hardware here that we have here. And they're going to bolt onto there with the tire. So we have our hardware, right? And our landing gear. Wheel pants and our 2 beautiful tires. Now, obviously, look at that. And they made the hole just about the right size. We're going to have to ream them a little bit. Don't force it, and you want to make it straight. See how crooked you are? See? So, we'll ream them a little bit so that they roll. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Maybe we can put a little grease on it. A little burr up on that. Let me see. Okay. Just gonna turn it a little. We'll get it in there. There we go. Cleared out the plastic. Good fit. When they go on, they roll really nice. Okay, so we got cut fiberglass. These are made of fiberglass. They're really nice. So we're going to cut these slots in here in order for this to go in here like this and tighten down with this. So let's get some. We're going to move this out of the way because we're going to make a mess with the fiberglass. And Vanessa, I'd like you to walk out of the way while Daddy cuts this because it's going to be a little bit of a fiberglass mess. Okay, we're going to cut this the best we can, and hopefully I don't wobble it all over the place and make it look ugly. That'd be horrible. Am I inside here? first rough cut on the first one. Now if you notice, I cut back on this little lip right here, just in case my washer wants to go over there. So let's take one of the tie rods here, or the axles, I'm sorry, tie rod, talking all stupid. And let's see how that's going to sit in there. Give it a washer. And we'll basically play it out. Oh, look at that. You're going to have to cut the shaft down a little too. Just barely makes it. Let's see. Okay. Back on check. Here we go. Let's see. We're going to thread that all the way up there with a washer. Rough side out, shiny side. It always looks nicer. Do that work too. So this will fit in there like snug on a bug. It barely, matter of fact, it wouldn't be a horrible idea to maybe take a little bit off, but I think we're going to be just fine. We're going to tighten that back up there nice and tight. And when we do this, we're going to Loctite it. So that's going to fit good. Well, that's a good fit. So let's put this stuff back together here. And cut our second one. Here we go. Okay, these two are done. Oh. On top of a piece of soft cloth. So it works out well. Okay, let's take the first one. This one is not going to get any on there, and I'm just going to rotate it, make sure that's a little tight. It feels good. So I'm going to put a little Loctite on the threads here and there, on this one too, and then we'll okay. Alright, we'll use some blue Loctite. Alright, so I got some blue Loctite on there, a little bit there. I'm just going to hand thread this up in there, work it back and forth. And then I'm going to thread it all the way in. Oh, it can't go all the way in. Oh, this one's missing the ridge. We'll put it to right there. This one gets the same, right up there. Same. Looks pretty good, looks pretty even. Okay, so these will be ready as soon as they're ready to go. Tires, we're going to need to see how they fit. Tire, well, we got the collar, that's the locking collar, so we can adjust the side to side. And we got this one there. And basically we're going to put our tire in. Oh, I gotta go the other way. Put our tire in here. Okay, so they fit with the collar on there, they're just a little too tight. So basically what I'm going to do is go cut these in the garage. And it looks to be the way I marked them. Yeah, about 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, about 3/8. So that'll work well. Maybe a good cut. Okay. What happened? Okay, so if you can see here, I'm gonna cut off just that little bit because when you add the wheel collar to it, it's too tight on the pants because it won't go in far enough now. So that's what we're gonna have to do. This one will go here. Once that gets in there, there'll be plenty of room on that tire for the collar and the tire. So I shall be right back from cutting these. Okay, I'm back from cutting in the garage. So, as you can see, I cut them down there. Now I'm just going to use a little sandpaper for a little extra deburring. Not too much. Enough to cut it. I did most of the deburring out there. Okay, go. No, I'm pretty confident on my fit. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Vaseline on it. Now let it roll good. And it will. So we just put a little bit in there. A little bit on the wheel. Collar's going to rub up again. A lot of stuff rubs up again. So you'd be surprised how quickly these actually will wear. So, here we go. This one. Okay, clean it Vaseline. Okay, here we go. Now, put some on this washer. No, I don't want it. Okay, there we go. We're done with the jelly. Okay, we got our wheel pant. This is the number 1. Because if you look on here, you see this cut, how it's offset. It does the same thing on the wheel pant. So, number 1's got to go with number 1. It's a match. Okay. We're going to put together the wheel. Basically, the collar, which I might be better off putting the Vaseline on before I put the collar on. Here we go. Oh, that's been so nice and smooth. And then the other collar. There is 1 set screw on each one. You could put another one if you want to. I don't think this one's going to require it. Now, I'm going to just lightly snug this set screw. No, I should be able to get it in there. Okay. And I'm just lightly snug it so it doesn't all fall apart because I will set these once it's in so that the set screw for the wrench is pointing up so I can work on it if I have to during out in the field or whatnot. Alright, so we got a washer, and we'll just slip the wheel in there. Okay, now we got the washer in there, the shaft. And now we have to put this on there with it, the strut, with another washer, and then the nut. Now, we will put not Loctite on this, but a thin drop, a drop of CA, I should say, but thin CA. So it goes down into the threads and locks up really good. Let's tighten that up good. See, so I want to set that up to where when I tighten this up, this tire is going to be in there nice and straight. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I'm going to tighten it up. I can't find my needle nose with my little wrench, so it's probably out in the garage. But slide that in just a little bit. Now I'm going to slide the wheel down a little, best I can. Hopefully I don't have to loosen it anymore. Okay, that looks pretty good. Right there. So I'm going to tighten that up real good. Turning, turning. There we go. Just stay where it's at. Now let's torque it back up some more. I made that pretty tight. Now that wheel, if you can see, there's the mold line from the rubber of the wheel. Try to line that up nice and straight with that wheel pan, you know, like in the center of the wheel pan. That's pretty good, and it's tight. Excellent. I like it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just back this one off with the hair. There's a little bit more play in there. So I don't want too much. I don't want to vibrate a lot. Okay, I think that went really well. Okay, and then a drop of CA on there and she'll be perfect. So, a little drop of this. Good way to open up the cap. No, I've never stuck my lips together. Okay, little drop. If you can see it happening here. I don't want too much. There we go. I'm going to hold it like that. I want to suck down into the threads a little bit, and that'll come off if I ever need it to come off all the way. We are ready to mount it on the aircraft. We will put a drop of the CA, almost forgot. Good small drop, boom, let it get in there, soak down into those threads. Okay, there's screws. Shot look okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's been 100 seconds and I'm going to take that part out. And I'm going to suck it out too. So it looks good enough to be in. I'm going to get this one in for 100 more seconds. Okay, so it's been about 100 seconds. 100 seconds is about a minute. But I'm feeling up there because this is a weird thing, and I don't mean that thing. That is me.
Now, if you plan on using this landing gear for sure, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to see how it reacts on landings with the kids and stuff. But if you're 100% sure this is what you're going to use for the landing gear, then put a little blue or red Loctite, whatever you prefer. If you don't ever think you're going to take it off, put that on the screws there. That way you don't have to worry about them coming loose really. And blue Loctite might be the best for you, just in case you rip it apart. Okay, I'm not going to over torque the heck out of them now, just enough to crush the lock washer all the way. And that looks good, man. That tightens up nice. And with that fiberglass, that'll look real good. I mean, with the epoxy. Just enough. took this one back off is because I had the washer in upside down, even though people would be like, what do you mean the washer's in upside down? It is. I do it all the time at work. I notice people putting the washers in upside down, but they don't realize the stamping of this washer went this way. See the burr? Now it's not high quality, but in all washers you'll get a little burr unless they're specially made. And you'll have that on the back side, and that's the side you should use. Shiny side up. Ah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, that looks good. You look at it good, look at it straight, nice gaps, everything looks even. Looks right on. Okay. And there we go. There's our landing gear. What do you think, Michelle? Take the bouncing and the abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll put the Neil's wheel on next. Okay. Okay, now we're going to work on the nose landing gear. It's pretty nice. Comes with this strut. It's spring activated. It'd been nice to see it maybe a little bit looser. But the tension ain't too bad. We'll see when it flies and when it lands if there's any action. Or is it just bouncing? Because it should absorb it. If not, you can probably take it apart and put a lighter spring in there. Or cut it back a little bit so there's a little bit more play. Alright, so I already pre-drilled that hole there. I basically put this on here, bolted this up here, inside. You can see inside, they got a nice little wooden block there that holds that on. This goes inside as such. Ooh. Make sure you get the pin in the right spot. It'll go in there like that, and then I screwed this down, turned it in until it was touching, and it made a mark. And then that's, I made sure it was straight, and I made a mark, and then I drilled it. So now what we need to do is some Loctite in there. Medium's fine. That way you can get it off. Otherwise, you can go with some extra. Alright, put some Loctite in there. Like that. We'll make sure we get our hole lined up the right way. About it right there, and then we'll tighten it up. Get a hole in there. Pretty good. Down. Alright, we're going to want to put one of these in as we're driving the wheel in there. Okay. Okay. Okay, I need to get the pin in there now. There we go. We are in. So, my measurement right. So it's sticking out just a little bit. Put a little pressure on that. But when I tighten it up, a little bit in there though. That's going to give this pin holding this cover in there, and this pin too will help that cover from not twisting. Kind of what you're worried about with the twisting of that and the landing. Yeah. They get our set screws lined up here. Okay. Looks pretty good. I mean, inside it has a little bit of drag there. Okay. Next we got to install it on the firewall here. Alright guys, alright, so with the landing gear all done, you know, we got the mains in and we got the nose gear landing gear. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good in there. Now all we're going to do is we're going to attach it here. We're going to use this horn that's going to go on here. And basically we're going to put it on. And we're going to get this to where it's in the middle so that our throw is good. We have good throw. And then we're going to mark it. We're going to try to mark it. And we'll put a little flat spot on there. And that way this doesn't crank loose from the shaft. You know, for back in my days, you know, when you're just learning, what would happen was this would strip loose and you'd have this going on, you know, or you'd land and it'd go like this and flip over. So you want to get a flat spot on that shaft. So basically we're just going to put this up in here. And then we're going to check where it's sitting. It should sit pretty good right there. I'm going to need a little bit of weight in the front there to hold that down. Better than a clamp, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to take the level. I just want to see how level that'll sit right there. Check it more with the wings. When we get the wings on there. So it looks like we want to go down a little, oh, we'll probably about there, and then unless we want to add a little bit like that. It's actually right where we're going to put it. Now we'll put it right there. So, I'm going to put the horn about right there. I'm going to snug it up a little. And then I'm going to check the throw and see how much throw I have. You're going to eyeball your wheel pretty close. You're going to fine tune it in with your radio when you're all done anyways. This is just making sure we got enough throw. I'll hold that. Now we'll go one way. We'll see how that feels. Still not too bad. And this way. It's about right there. That's pretty good. Take it off. Now we're going to grind a flat spot on there. We'll grind a little flat spot on that and it will be good. Looking for my mark right here. Look for a mark right there. And that's where I'm going to put my flat spot. Okay. Okay, I ground that flat spot on there, so I put a little flat spot there. Let's get this baby in and get this part done with. Okay, that's gonna feel good. All right, put that in there. There we go. Okay. Get the wheel centered. I'm going to find the flat spot just so I know I hit it. Yeah, that's it right there. And I'm going to tighten this up. And when we're all done and we set up the servo and stuff for this, and I'm kind of happy exactly where it's at, we'll put some Loctite on there and thread that up in there. Tight, check the feel, and the servo basically comes out of this hole, and there we go. Looks good. Looks good. Alright. Cool stuff right there. Good. Very good. Turn on a dime. So if you can see it in the shot, there we go. One and landing gear. Good. Good, good, as I hear. Good, good.